Hi, everybody. Welcome to Von Cupcake Yoga. I'm your host, Gretchen, and today we're going to explore some more uses to use our yoga blankets. Now, if you don't have a yoga blanket, it's totally fine. Any kind of thin throw blanket will work just fine, but these Mexican yoga blankets are the ones you usually see in yoga studios. They're great, but any kind of thin, easily folded, throw blanket's going to work just fine. And then also during our practice today, I like to always have a set of blocks ready just in case you need it. They're there for you. If you don't have any blocks, anything roughly the shape or size of this is going to work. A couple heavy books will do well, but blocks are readily available online. And everything I tell you today is a suggestion and not a command. So if something doesn't work for your body, only you know. So make adjustments for your own body, but I'll offer you some options if you like. So let's start with our yoga blanket, shall we? Now, we've used this before here on Von Cupcake Yoga, and it is a great tool for restorative yoga classes. It's a great tool to help give your body a little bit more cushion on the knees. So we're going to use it in many different ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my yoga blanket up, or my throw blanket, whatever I have, and I'm going to fold it up into a nice long kind of burrito type shape. We've talked about the burrito shape before. So I'm going to fold my blanket into fourths, and then I'm going to fold it in half the long ways to make something about this size. And you might have to take a little Goldilocks here. You might have to try it a couple ways to see what works and then adjust accordingly. But I want you to know that you are worth the time that it takes to make it right for yourself. And if you have to pause this video to adjust, please feel free to do so. I'll be right here when you come back. But in the meantime, we're going to start here. We're going to lay this blanket right at the top of our mat, and I'm going to call it vertically because I'm running along the long side of our mat. And I'm going to come over and sit in front of this blanket, pull it in so it's right up against my lower tailbone, and then lower down slowly on top of the blanket. Now this may feel a little different than just sitting on the floor. It may feel great. If you don't like it, take that blanket out and readjust it until you feel fully supported. Wiggle around on this blanket just so that you feel perfectly comfortable and supported. And you can always tuck that little extra right underneath your neck if you like. But in the meantime, come to lay right here with this blanket lining up with your spine. Bring your arms out to a T. Bring your palms to face up. Now that we're here, just breathe. Allowing our bodies time to adjust, giving ourselves a moment to move and wiggle until we feel completely supported. And once we're there, just breathe. Take in any noises that might be around you. Just kind of notice that they're there and let them float away on a cloud. And any thoughts that pop in your mind, things that you just don't need to think about right now, like that grocery list, just put those up on a little shelf. They'll be there for you when you come back. Turn your attention to your breath, making no changes, just observing as you inhale. Maybe we feel our belly expand and our chest rise. As we exhale, we melt a little more over this bolster. Inhale gently and exhale. keeping that mind inside our body. Start to do a little body scan, maybe starting at the tips of your toes. Bring your attention down to the tips of those toes and start to scan around your ankles, around your toes, and the bottoms of your feet. And we're looking for any areas that feel tight, that feel tense, that feel dark, that feel heavy. All of those things could be felt in your muscles. And if you do find any of those areas, turn your attention to that area, make a mental note of where it's at, and then breathe into that space and continue your body scan. Examining those calves and those knees and those quad muscles and those hamstrings. Continue further examining those hips and those glutes, looking for that heavy, stressed, tense feeling. Put your imaginary eyes on that area. Take note and continue your scan. Scanning up around the core and the lower back. Scanning around those shoulders and your chest, all the way down into your biceps and your forearms and even your fingers. Continuing that body scan all the way around your shoulders, around your neck, up into the tippy top of your head. And start to deepen your breath, inhaling fully and completely. Exhale, let it go. Maybe even tighten those tummy muscles just enough to be able to press out all that old air. Big full breath in. Feel those ribs expand. Feel that belly expand. Exhale, let it go. Release. With every inhale, think refresh and recharge. And with every exhale, think release. Let something go. Let go of old feelings, old thoughts. Give that body permission to release and let go. Let those shoulders feel heavy. Continue your deep breathing for 3 more full deep breaths. Sending that air all the way down your body, sending that energy in and changing it out. Exhaling old feelings, exhaling old energy. Let it go. Let's invite a little movement now. Take a big breath here. Draw those arms up over your head. Maybe you interlace your fingers. Maybe you turn your palms out and press your palms towards that wall behind you. Maybe you point those toes. Take a big breath here. Let that chest rise to the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, release. Let it go. Bend into those knees. It may feel good to gently lean those knees to one side and lean those knees to other. Being gentle because we have this blanket underneath our spine. Just gently swaying those knees a little from side to side. And then we're just going to kind of roll over to one side. Grab a hold of that blanket and pull it out from behind you and just kind of set it out of the way, but within reach because we'll come back to it. And roll back onto your back. Notice maybe that mat feels a little bit different now. Maybe it feels a little cooler. Start to sway those knees from side to side. And this time, maybe we let that hip gently lift up off the floor as our knees come down towards the floor. Start to spread those feet a little bit wider. So maybe they're as wide as the mat is wide. And then continue swaying those knees from side to side. Maybe when those knees come down to the right, we're kind of pointing that left knee towards that lower right corner. And then inhale, draw those knees back up. Exhale, lower them down to the other side. Maybe point that right knee towards that lower left corner. Inhale those knees up. Exhale to the other side. Continue this movement, moving with your breath. Inhaling the knees up. Exhale them down to the other side. And let's add a little head movement here while we're doing this. Maybe once our knees are down to the right, we turn our head to the left. And then everybody comes back to center. Exhale, bring those knees down to the left. Turn your head to the right. And everybody comes back to center. Continue this for 3 more full breaths. Let's make it 4 more full breaths, just so we have an even number, 2 on each side. And return to stillness just for a moment. Then we're going to allow those knees to come all the way down once again to this right-hand side of our mat. We're going to press our pelvis towards that right side of the mat and point this left knee towards that lower right corner of the mat. Extend those arms out to a T and turn your head to the left. Take a few moments here, wiggle around until you feel a nice stretch, maybe in those quads, maybe in that front of your body. Breathe here. Let your body release. Give yourself permission to just slow down. One more breath. Exhale fully. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw those knees back to center. Draw that head back to center. Sway those knees once again from side to side. We're going to slowly work our way to the other side. So allow yourself to get real dramatic as you pendulum those knees. And eventually they'll find their way down onto that left-hand side of our mat. Press that pelvis towards that left side of your mat. Point that right knee towards that lower left corner. Bring your arms out to a T and turn your head to the right. Now, when we're in these types of postures, it is possible that our shoulders may or may not come all the way down to the floor. You have a blanket here. You can always tuck that blanket under your shoulders, but I like to just let gravity do its thing and let that just kind of hover there and let it just slowly melt down as I breathe. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. Big, deep, full breath in. Let it go. One more big breath. Exhale to release. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw those knees back to center. Draw that gaze back to center. And then let's bring our feet closer together and let those knees splay out to the sides and bring the soles of our feet together to touch. Bringing our arms from having them be at a T at our sides, bend into those elbows to point those fingers towards the short end of your mat or over there. Bend into those elbows to make cactus arms and then draw those fingertips towards each other. And we're coming into a kind of a figure 8 shape with our body. Let our elbows feel heavy. Let our knees feel heavy. Take a few breaths here. One more breath. Exhale, release. Draw those hands down to the outsides of our thighs and gently guide those knees back up to center. Good job. Let's start to press ourselves up nice and slow, nice and easy, with as much control as we have. Sometimes that's not much, and that's okay. And let's come to sit on our blocks if you like, or you can sit on your blanket, whatever you prefer. Since I have my blanket here, I'll go ahead and sit on my blanket, and maybe we refold it, maybe we don't. I'm going to fold mine. I'm going to open up my little burrito, and I'm just going to fold it in half the other way to kind of make a shape about this size. And I'm going to set that down and come to seat right on top of it. Having those hips gently elevated is going to open up a little more hip mobility for you. So wiggle around here. If you got any juicy goodness back behind you, move those fleshy bits out of the way. You really want to feel those sitting bones connecting. And if crisscross applesauce doesn't work for you, it is totally okay to extend those legs. We're going to eventually anyway, so if this is better for you, you can keep it right here. But for right now, I'm just going to come into my happy little crisscross applesauce. Sit up nice and tall. Extend up through the crown of your head, just like your little Christmas ornament, and the little loop is on top of your head. Bring those shoulders back and down, shining that heart forward, bringing those hands to your knees. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you just close them down to the front of your mat. Take some time here and breathe. Reconnect with that body. Reconnect with that breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, either through the mouth or the nose. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Big full breath in. And on your exhale, roll that chin to your chest. Let that forehead feel heavy. On your next exhale, roll this right ear to the right shoulder. Let this left shoulder feel heavy. Maybe this left hand comes down to the mat. Take a big breath here, and on your exhale, just let go. Let gravity take control. Let gravity gently open up that neck. Send that attention right there. One more big full breath in. Exhale, release, roll that chin to your chest. Bring that left hand back to your knee. Big breath in and exhale. On your next exhale, roll that right ear to that right shoulder. Let this right shoulder feel heavy. Maybe even bring that right hand down to the mat. Let it just hang. Send your attention right to that neck. Take a big breath in and release. Let gravity gently open it up. Inhale fully and exhale fully. Let it go. On your next exhale, you can release, roll that chin to your chest, maybe bring that right hand back to your knee, and then slowly, slowly bring your head back up to center. Hi, my friends. Sit up nice and tall here. We're going to lean forward, leading with our chest. So we're going to press those shoulders back as we gently lean forward. Maybe our head gently lifts up just a little bit here. This is a seated cow posture. And then maybe we exhale, we tuck that tailbone, bring that chin to your chest and round that spine back, finding a seated cat pose. Inhale, draw that chest forward, lean forward, maybe even tilt the chin up just a little bit. Exhale, bring the chin to your chest, tuck the tailbone around your spine, focusing here. Inhaling and exhaling into one posture and then the other, focusing on that spine, moving and flexing that spine. Back up to center. Big breath in and exhale fully. Inhale both those arms up, reaching high towards the ceiling. Bring this right hand down, left hand over here. So we're going to keep this left hip anchored to the mat as we reach this left hand. You can always walk those right fingertips out if you like. You can look up, you can look down. Find what feels right for your neck. But we're going to bring that attention right to those ribs, right here on the side. We're going to take a breath in and open them up with your inhale. And exhale, let it go. Big breath in, open them up. Exhale, let it go. Tighten up on those tummy muscles as we draw that body back up to center. Inhale those arms up. And we're just going to go to the other side. Bring this left hand down, right hand over. Press that right hip in as we reach that right hand out. We can walk those fingertips out. We can bend into that elbow. You can look up. You can look down. Pay attention to those ribs. Take a big breath in. Open up those ribs. And exhale, release. One more. Open up those ribs. Exhale, let it go. Tighten up on those tummy muscles. Draw that body back to center. Good job. Now, if you haven't already extended your legs, go ahead and extend them as wide as feels comfortable for you. Nice and wide. And if you've got a little bit of a belly, press it towards the center. That's going to open up a little more hip mobility for you. So just press your belly towards the center so that way you've released your hips. Inhale, both those arms up nice and tall. Pivot that whole upper torso towards this left foot and then hinge forward, reaching towards that left foot until you feel a nice stretch going right down the back of your leg. And once you do, bring those hands wherever they may be. Bring those shoulders away from your ears. Make your back feel nice and flat. And exhale, maybe we can fold a little bit deeper here. Maybe we can bring our chin to our chest. Breathe. Start to walk those hands back up your leg. Slowly pressing your whole body back up to center. So that wasn't so bad. Let's do it again on the other side. Inhale those arms up. Pivot that whole body towards that right leg. Hinge forward at the hips till you feel a nice stretch up the back of your leg. And once you do, bring those hands down wherever they may be. Keeping those shoulders away from your ears. Making that back feel nice and flat. Big breath in, and on your exhale, maybe you can fold a little bit more. Release your chin to your chest. Breathe into your body. Start to walk those hands back nice and easy, nice and gentle. Great job. Inhale both those arms up. This time we're going to fold forward, reaching those hands as far forward as we can, and then bringing those hands down. We're going to pull those shoulders away from your ears, make your back feel nice and flat. We're going to lean forward here, and then breathe in and exhale. Let that body just slowly melt down. Bring your chin to your chest. Big breath in, exhale, melt a little further. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. Start to walk those hands back. Slowly pulling that body back up to center. That was glorious. Let's do it again, shall we? Inhale those arms up. Hinge forward at the hips, reaching and reaching until we find that stretch. We'll feel it up the back of both of our hamstrings most likely, and then bring those hands down. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Lean forward. Let gravity start to take control here. Bring your chin to your chest. It matters less of what we look like and more of what we feel like. We just want to feel better. So release that attachment that you have to fit into a certain shape to receive the benefits of yoga, because, my friends, that is just simply not true. Breathe into your body. Let go of those old feelings. Start to walk those hands back, nice and easy, nice and slow. Inhale those arms up. We're going to pivot that body once again towards that left leg, hinging forward at the hips until we feel that nice stretch down the back of our leg. Let us this time bring this left hand to the inside of this left ankle. And this right hand, we're going to extend it back behind us, following our hand with our eyes. So we're going to watch our hand as we start to extend it back, reaching it out behind us and then up and over. Find a side body stretch here. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more big breath. Exhale, release. Bring this right hand that's hanging out in the sky over here, bring it slowly down to the floor. And then walk those hands back to center. Take a big breath here, wiggle around a little bit, pull those shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, maybe we can fold a little deeper here, maybe we can't, and that's okay. Meet yourself where you are. Breathe in and breathe out. Walk those hands back, nice and easy, nice and gentle. Inhale those arms up. We're going to pivot towards that right foot and then hinge forward at the hips. So we feel that nice stretch up the back of our leg. We're going to bring this right hand to the inside of our right ankle. We're going to watch this left hand as we draw it back slowly behind us and then up and over, finding that side body stretch here on this side. Inhale fully and release, let it go. Big full breath in and exhale. Tighten up on those tummy muscles. And we're going to draw this left hand down to the floor. Walk those hands back to center. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Sit up nice and straight. We'll make the back feel nice and straight. And then exhale. Maybe we can melt down. Maybe we can walk those fingers forward just a little bit. Maybe we can't, and that's okay. Inhale and exhale. Release. Start to walk those hands back, nice and slow, nice and easy. And then we're going to come out of this posture and we're going to go into a different posture. So bend into those knees, nice and gentle, nice and easy. I don't know about you, but sometimes when my legs are straight for too long, I got to kind of guide them in. It's part of aging. We're just going to take care of ourselves. And we're going to come up off of this blanket. And we're going to go to tabletop posture, but we have this blanket, so let's keep using it, shall we? I'm going to open up my blanket so it's kind of folded in fourths, and I'm going to bring it about mid-mat. Look at that. Now I've got some extra cushioning for my knees, so I'm going to climb on top of this blanket and bring those knees underneath my hips. How does that feel? Do you like that? That gives you a little extra. You can double, triple, quadruple these blankets if you like. But bring those knees right underneath your hips and then bring these wrists right underneath your shoulders. Now, if you still have some crabby shoulders, maybe walk those hands a handprint ahead. That might give you a little bit of assistance here. Now we're in our tabletop posture and our fingertips are pointing towards that short edge of our mat. And the inner parts of our elbows are kind of facing each other. We're going to round that spine up towards the ceiling, tucking your chin and tucking your tailbone, finding your cat posture. Exhale, lower that belly down, arch that back, shine that heart forward, cow posture. Inhale, round that spine towards the ceiling, finding your cat-cow flow here, moving with your breath, inhaling into cat or exhaling, finding your way down to cow. Whatever works for you. You must understand that the yoga police don't come to your house. So whichever one that you are breathing into, just exhale into the other one. It's totally okay. And maybe make some extra movements here. Maybe next time we find ourselves in our cow, we can sway those hips and slowly shake that head no. That might feel really good. And maybe next time we're in our cat pose with our back arched towards the ceiling, we can maybe sink those hips back just a little bit. Maybe dip one shoulder, maybe dip the other shoulder. Play around here, make some movements. You're at home, just be yourself. It's okay. Find your movements, find your flow. Just focus on that spine flexing and moving and producing all kinds of new spinal fluids for you. And let's do one more cat posture and one more cow. Return to that tabletop. Spread those knees nice and wide, maybe as wide as the mat. Bring those big toes together to touch. Sink those hips back. Walk those hands forward. Find yourself in a little child's pose here. Sink that forehead down to the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Connect to your body. On your next exhale, start to press into those hands. Slowly, slowly press yourself back up to your tabletop, resetting our tabletop. And then walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. Even they could even come off the mat if you like, but right on that right side is fine. Sink those hips down to the left. Find a little side body stretch here. Inhale fully and exhale. Big breath in. Start to press yourself out of this. Walk those hands back to center. Find that tabletop once more. Big breath in and exhale. And then walk those hands over to the left-hand side of your mat. Sink those hips down to the right. Find a side body stretch here. Just let it go. You don't need it anymore. It doesn't serve you. Release it. Come on back up. Walk those hands back to center. Reset that tabletop, keeping those wrists in line with those shoulders, keeping those knees in line with those hips. Let's extend this left foot back with the toes pointing down. Level out those hips. And let's pendulum this leg from side to side, nice and slow, nice and easy. We're going to bring it all the way out to the left, and then we're going to bring it all the way to the right, even crossing over that other foot, that right foot. Pendulum that leg, and then maybe when we cross that left foot over that right foot, we can let those toes come down to the mat. And let's look over our right shoulder towards that foot. Big full breath in and release. Lift up on those toes, bring them back to center, resetting our body, bending into our knees, coming back to a tabletop. Move around a little bit here. Sway those hips from side to side. Come on back to that tabletop. Let's extend these right foot out, toes pointing down, and start to pendulum that right leg from side to side, allowing it to cross over the left. And then maybe next time that right foot crosses over that left foot, we can let those right toes come down to the floor, and we can look over the shoulder at those right toes. Big breath in and exhale. Lift up on those right toes. Draw that right leg back to center. Bend into your knees. This time, we're going to keep these hips nice and elevated, and we're going to walk the hands out, letting our heart come on down. This is a different version of your child's pose. This one's called puppy pose, keeping those hips up nice and high and working those arms out, letting that heart gently sink down, coming all the way down, maybe to our forehead. Press into those hands. Start to press yourself up nice and easy, nice and gentle. And then we're going to come off of this blanket. And we're going to fold this blanket maybe in half long ways once again, returning it maybe to that burrito shape that we had before. And we're going to lay this down in the middle of our mat, and we're going to crawl over it. Now the goal here is to bring the front of our hips to this blanket. So we're going to crawl over and lower our hips down onto that blanket, and then maybe come to our forearms onto the mat with our elbows right underneath our shoulders. Take a breath here. Maybe we bring those shoulders back and down. Maybe we look up. Find a little low, gentle back bend here. Take a few moments and breathe like this. And if you'd like a little something more, or if you'd like a little something different, we can allow that chest to come down and bring those forearms to stack on above our head and slowly lower our forehead. Lower those hips a little bit. Find this crocodile pose. When you inhale, feel that back expand. And when you exhale, just melt down a little bit more. You are safe. You are secure. You are loved. Start to slowly move. Maybe we lift up our head. Maybe we draw these hands underneath our shoulders. Big breath in, and on your exhale, press into those hands, press into those knees, lift those hips, come down off of this blanket. And then we're going to turn and sit on the blanket just as it is. Just as it is. And then we're going to keep these hips on this blanket. Maybe we wiggle to the front edge of that blanket and then lower down, nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Bend into those knees, gently lift those hips and adjust that blanket so it's fully supporting those hips. And keep those knees bent. Bring those arms out to a T. Take a moment here and enjoy this version of a supported bridge pose. It may feel really good here to extend those legs. See how that feels. And if you don't like this blanket here, you can absolutely pull it out from underneath of you. But whether those knees be bent, whether those knees be extended, maybe the knees are bent with the feet as wide as the mat and the knees gently leaning towards each other. There's a lot of options for you here. But breathe in, let your body just melt over this blanket. Sink into your little mini Shavasana. Start to return to your body. Take a big breath in and exhale, release. If you straightened your knees, you can bend into those knees. Maybe sway those knees gently from side to side. Press into those feet, lift those hips just enough to pull that blanket out from underneath of you and lower those hips back down. And then just roll over to one side. Find a little fetal posture here. And when you're ready, and as you're ready, slowly start to press yourself up, joining me in your easiest, most comfortable seats. And bring those palms together to touch right at your heart center. And we give honor to the beautiful culture that gave us yoga. And we recite, "The light in me sees and honors the light in you." Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's stretch. I hope you feel so much better. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure you hit that notification bell. I'll let you know every time I post a new video. And I'd like to thank a Little Twisted Yoga Studios here in Florida for allowing me a beautiful place to teach. And I do recommend that you check out your local studios in your area, but I'm always here for you at home. And until then, take care of each other. Bye-bye.